Un, dos, tres.
Next up we have Soraya Sobriedad.
Him and he's, they and thems, she and hers. Welcome everyone to Soraya Sobriedad's Fierce Cooking Show. I am Soraya Sobriedad, the super sexy, super fabulous, super desirable, and in a much better emotional state today, queen of healthy Latin cooking. So welcome to my show. This is part 2 to a misgendering video that I posted recently. I did report back to work after taking 2 weeks off. I lasted 3 days, and by Thursday I just couldn't do it. I was imagining that my co-workers were sabotaging me. It was just too much for me. I didn't think I was really ever gonna shake that feeling. And it just added to the stress of still learning. I gotta be honest too, the hours of this job were really long, 9-hour days with a 1-hour break. My energy is not like it used to be, especially with hormones. I tend to wake up in the middle of the night. I don't know why, for like 3 or 4 hours and I go back to sleep. So I don't get a full night straight through sleep. So it's really hard for me to perform those 9 hours a day. And then the stress of learning a new job, new co-workers, and then the reference that was made to me that was just really a tough one, a really painful one. Other things I'll talk about with this employer, that when I started the job they quoted one salary in the interview, and then when they sent me the onboarding paperwork it was a lesser salary. I came in not trusting this employer. I should have had a discussion with my manager. I'm not going to say what he was supposed to do and which he didn't do, but I felt it. I should have had a discussion with him about why we had this discrepancy of salary. Then other things popped up too that I thought were unprofessional. I didn't address it. But my thing was like, oh, I'm not here to change this company. I'm not here to change this manager's way of managing. I'm here to work. Because it just then snowballed. All this already happened with the salary and that other little drama, and now the misgendering. Like, what is this? And then it just fueled my rage. So what happened on Thursday, I called my employer to resign, and I spoke to HR. That call in resigning did not work out well. I came up with some words. I said that reference was just as bad as spit in the face. And it just came out of my mouth. And then he got defensive. He was not having me. And then I wasn't having him. And then I broke down and started crying and yelling on the phone like, "You're a white man, cisgender, you'll never know what this feels like. No one in your family will ever experience this. You don't understand." That took me down. So, YouTubers, how do you deal with this? Again, I asked this question in the first misgendering segment. But you know what I want to do? I'd love to learn how to manage misgendering better where it doesn't hurt so much. That's my goal for 2022. I'm going to get misgendered again. I know that. But how do I handle it better? How do I not bring my 63 years being mistreated as a queer person of color? Like, how do I let go? I thought I worked on it. I really did. A friend of mine said that maybe it's the hormones that makes me more reactive. I'm not going to say that because that's like saying that women are more emotionally unstable than men. I'm not going to go there. And again, I'm going to make a plea to all of you to please support my cooking show. Please watch the whole thing. Please like it. Please subscribe. And any donations. I have a PayPal account linked to my channel, a homepage here on YouTube. I have my website. $5, $10, $20, $100, $2,000, $5,000, whatever you want to give, I'll accept. It takes a lot of time to do these videos, and I love them, but you know, video editing, it takes hours to edit, like a 3-minute, 7-minute, 10-minute segment. I want to be self-supporting through my own contributions. I believe a lot of you enjoy the content that I provide, and if you can help out with any monetary contribution, support, I really would appreciate it. You're not obligated, but it would be nice. A bright future is in front of me. I'm willing to accept it, and I am willing to learn ways where I'm not so triggered when I am misgendered. So that's the goal for 2022. And to live where I want to live, earn the money how I want to earn it, look the way I want to look, and do the things that I love doing. And some of those things that I love doing is coming to the camera, talking to you, sharing my experience, strength, and hope, and connecting with you, okay? And I didn't self-harm or sabotage myself through this process. So I'm coming out on the other side, and I'm really grateful for that. So take care. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking in. If I can do it, you could do it. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Mwah. Take care. Hello, my darlings. It's Soraya Sobriedad, the queen of healthy Latin cooking. Welcome to my kitchen. Welcome to my show. I decided to come to you, and I think I had 4 days straight of consuming meat. When I started my cooking show, I had lost 80 pounds. Gradually, my body started going through its signals to me saying, let's try eliminating milk and dairy. So I got to a point in my lifestyle of being mainly vegan. Every once in a while with celibacy, the craving for meat comes. And so I have either breast of veal, fine, and chicken, fine. With the holiday weekend, the week or so beforehand, my endocrinologist broke the news that my hormone growth levels are kind of low and that I should incorporate more proteins in my diet. And it was a good excuse to give my body the meat that maybe medically it deserves. So I had turkey 2 days, and then I had liver, I think 3 days of liver. Oh my God, so 5 days of meat in a row. Yeah, 5 days. And the chicken livers were organic. Chicken livers were amazing. And then the turkey was just regular turkey. That was delicious. I take progesterone capsules as a suppository every night, along with 1 oral. And so I'm in there every night, inserting. And that's been cool, fine. I noticed it over the weekend that when I was inserting that there was still waste. I could feel it. Where when I'm 80%, 90% vegan, that area is cool. I eliminate in the morning really well. 3 times in the morning. 5 days straight of meat. I noticed my going to the bathroom time was more stinkier. I noticed I needed to wipe more. And it was darker and thicker. When I'm eating vegan, vegetarian, my movements are really good movements in the morning, and when I'm wiping, it's almost clean. That's the thing. I used to get off on that. Oh my God, my insides are so clean. Very light brown and very, very clean. 1 wipe, maybe 2. That's it. And then also I noticed my dreams last night, especially. It was so weird. I didn't sleep well. Look, I'm not advocating that vegan eating is the best way to go, or eating meat is the wrong way to go. But 5 days straight of meat, I won't do that again. I won't do that again. And today I'm gonna have my potato, garbanzo bean, vegetable puree. I'm so looking forward to it with a lot of hot sauce. For 5 days, girl. Eso me jodió. Yo estaba pestosa ahí en el baño. I was like, oh no, this is weird. I just wanted to just check in. and some discussion, some kind discussion, and intelligent discussion if you wish. If you've been vegan for a long time and if you just like go on a meat spree, like what are the things you experience in your body? Are you a flexitarian? Are you a straight up vegan? I did cricket powder one time in a recipe and like my vegan friends wrote me off. And Long Beach, California, I had no idea that cricket powder was like, oh, that's right, it's Jiminy Cricket, right? Wasn't he in a movie? You know, like I murdered Jiminy Cricket from Pinocchio. Like I was like written off the planet for that. And I did these besitos de coco and I was so proud, like, oh my god, I used cricket powder for a protein source. Oh girl, that went like wildfire in the community. And that's when I realized that vegans can be really tough, you know? And man, well, you know, I get it, but like, I'm not like that. I'm like, look, eat what you want to eat, I don't care. And don't hate me for being me. Like, there's a saying, don't hate me for being beautiful, girl. Like, let me look at the camera. How do I look? Oh, I look okay. You know, like, don't be a hater, so what? You want to stick a turkey drumstick up your, that's your business, you know? My name is Soraya Sobriedad. Please like my video, subscribe to my channel. Take care. Bye.
1, 2, 3.
Next up, we have Soraya Sobriedad.
Hey, it's the queen of healthy Latin cooking, Holas. My name is Soraya Sobriedad. Welcome to my kitchen. Welcome to my show. Today's segment is not about cooking, but maybe it is about cooking. It's about raising the heat. Raising the heat as a transgender woman. And what do I mean by that? I mean raising the heat and going into the direction of facial feminization. I wanted to talk about the two major surgeries that were specific to facial feminization, and the first one being with Facial Team back in 2018, the second facial feminization surgery that took place in 2021 with Dr. James Bradley here in New York. Maybe draw some comparisons, maybe speak really freely and clearly and honestly about both procedures and discuss many aspects of both procedures and discuss those processes as a woman of color. Okay? I'm a Puerto Rican woman. I'm 62 years of age. This year I'll be 63 in March. Had done a lot of research about facial feminization, and I chose Facial Team because at the time they were really the gold standard, and then also there was something that I read about Facial Team sharing a lot of their information about their surgery procedures with other surgeons. They were really giving of their knowledge to the trans community and the medical community. They had an open system of sharing. They didn't keep their skills to themselves. They were sharing it openly. That's the way I saw it. Secondly, I thought that it would be a good idea to choose surgeons who were Spanish, and I didn't realize it till later that just surgeon being in Spain and being Spanish doesn't really mean that they know how to handle a Puerto Rican woman of African descent's face and features. Alright? You know, I had my money. I wanted to get the best surgeon possible, and I thought it would be nice to get the surgery done in Spain, and I felt that Facial Team's reputation was really stellar and they were really experts in their field, and I chose them. So I chose them. So I'm going to talk about when I got to Spain. The arrangements that Facial Team had made to have a car and someone there to pick me up. So I want to say that the gentleman who picked me up wasn't very nice. He didn't want to take a picture with the name Soraya Montalvo on it. And he didn't seem happy to be like servicing me. I forget the name of the woman who was taking care of my procedure. She was great. It was time for me to have surgery that morning, and they were marking me for the hair transplant. I had asked for a widow's peak, and the way they told me no was really like stern and like, no. It didn't seem kind there either. I was already in Spain, what could I say? But I didn't like that. even before the surgery, one of the doctor for the nose had said in Spanish that my nose was like a potato. So, and I understand Spanish. So those little things, I kept quiet too, because I was already there. I'd already paid for it. What was I going to say? No? I don't like that comment. But, yeah. And then when I had surgery and the room that they put me into recovering, they were doing a lot of construction at Facial Team at the time. And it was a loud, like drilling sound in the room that they set me up in. And I complained to get into another room, and it was just horrible, the sound quality. The room in the hospital was like a hotel. It was very clean. The food was good once, I came to and I could eat. I'm going to say that it wasn't the best experience I had. No, it wasn't. As far as the total overall surgery, they did a great job with my jawline. I didn't like the way they handled my nose. And they did contour my forehead nicely, but I had secondary forehead reduction, and I feel this time around it's a lot more feminine. And I feel my nose this time around is a lot more feminine too. I'm making some comparisons here as far as customer service, as far as treatment, as far as how I'm spoken to as a woman. The surgery that I had from Facial Team didn't totally feminize my face. I did not come away from that surgery with the face I have now. And I knew that that was totally cranial, that Facial Team was adjusting, and that in addition to that, that I also would need soft tissue. So I still needed to face tape in order to get the face like I have right now. Which this is a Soraya face. It was a preliminary. It taught me a lot. I didn't like how my nose came out. I asked for a revision, but I'm going to have the same surgeon touch my nose again who didn't get it right the first time. So why go back again and pay $2,000 plus the trip to go? So they did ask me to record a testimonial for them. In reflection, I should have not had done that video. I can't even watch that video because I know I was running on fumes from the travel, from the process itself, and it was just such an intense surgery. So I hope I said good things about them. I probably did because I'm a people pleaser. Very much so was a people pleaser back then. Not one today, not as much. So that was Facial Team, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to go to Spain and pick the surgeon I wanted, which was them, Facial Team. Fast forward, in 2020, I was given the opportunity to have secondary facial feminization if I wanted it, and then chose to do it. I chose to have facial feminization again. I really went to this doctor, Dr. James Bradley, for secondary rhinoplasty and for a mid to lower facelift, neck lift. I wanted my rhinoplasty and my lip lift redone because I felt like my lip lift didn't heal as well as I liked it to have had healed. And when I went to see Dr. James Bradley, he's like, well, what about your forehead? And I thought I had like a stellar forehead, He's like, you can do some work there too. He proposed was doing the forehead again, which I knew that was going to be really intense, and then doing fat grafting and secondary rhinoplasty, which I wanted, secondary lip lift, which I wanted, and definitely wanted mid to lower facelift, neck lift. So he gave me all of that. He was able to do cranial, and he was able to do soft tissue. Now I have bangs, but my forehead is not as smooth as it was the first time around with Facial Team. It's bumpy. It's bumpy. But my forehead and my nose, if you look at my profile, much more femme. My forehead reduction certainly has been reduced, like it's back further. Bumpy, yeah, but bangs covers that up. Dr. James Bradley also lowered my hairline, which with the hair transplant that I did at Facial Team, it was just a rounding of the hairline, not so much lowering the hairline, which could have happened. They could have attempted to lower with the transplant. I didn't ask. I asked for the widow's peak, and they said no. Dr. Bradley's like, these are a lot of little things we can do, but it can make a big difference. And he was absolutely right. It has made a huge difference as I look at the camera to my appearance as a woman, as a transgender woman. What can I say that was negative about Bradley? Well, the bumps on my forehead. I'm not happy that it's not a smooth forehead. Bradley thought he could do more and he did, and I'm satisfied with that. The jaw wasn't touched the second time, thank goodness. That's very intense. They did a great job on the jaw. So, what am I going to conclude with? That for those of you who have asked, like, why did you have secondary facial feminization, Soraya? Now you know the reasons why. And also I want transgender women to know that sometimes you do need to go through it a second time. And I want transgender women to know that sometimes the doctor who did the rhinoplasty may not be the doctor you want to have do a secondary rhinoplasty with. Because it's just maybe best you try a different doctor. A different doctor worked for me. At this point of my life as a transgender woman, I do feel that I still want to have some more work done, and I feel like Dr. James Bradley will be the one. He did a fat transfer here, like I said, but he did fat transfer here and on my temples. It's going to be 7 months almost since I've had surgery. So probably in a year, I'll need to touch up with the fat transfers. But I know that I still want Dr. Giacono. Again, I had him as my initial surgeon for my facelift to remove the excess skin from weight loss. He was the one. And I really think for my neck and the cords, I'm developing as I'm aging, that Giacono will be the one to kind of bring back some youth there. I may want to get a trachea, but I think it's just really not going to make much of a difference because I just think this is just what I have, and this is a lot to reduce. I'm not so much an Adam's apple, but it's just my larynx. I think it's just whatever. It's just there, and that's just the way it is. So I do feel like down the road I'd like to have Giacono, and I do still think I need a third rhinoplasty, maybe. But the nose I have now is a big improvement to what I had with Facial Team. And with Facial Team, that was an improvement to what I came in with. I came in with a man's nose who is Puerto Rican. I'm no longer a man, I am a woman. This is my experience. This is what I went through with Facial Team. This was my experience with Dr. James Bradley. I'm going to say he was totally a gentleman. Serena was wonderful. He was really, really good. Very, very busy. He got me confused with some other patients with procedures. Overall, maybe because I'm here in New York and he's here in New York, that we were able to develop a closer relationship. Facial Team, I went there and left them because I'm going to see Dr. Bradley in a couple of months, and then towards the end of the year, when July comes, will be my anniversary. I'll see him again then. So I will say that maybe there's a big benefit to having a surgeon who's local. If you're going abroad for surgery, you're really doing it at your own risk, really, because keep in mind, and I did have a problem when I got back to California, that the endotins one of them started getting really sore from Facial Team's surgery. And, I had to go to the emergency room. And so, which, Facial Team was addressed and said, listen, just give it time, it'll heal. And it did. But having this major surgery and having it done abroad and then coming back to wherever you live and not having that surgeon have accessibility to you is something to consider. Bradley was doing a lot of women of color. A lot of women of color. Like, I went into his office, and all the girls that are waiting, some of them were white girls, but a lot of women of color. A lot of women of color. And I'm glad I went to him because he knew what to do. I thought he knew what to do with my face. I thought Spain would know what to do. But he really... Look at my nose. Look at my lip lift with him. It's very girl. It's very girl. Everything is very... I guess it took 2 times. It took 2 chisels away, chiseling at the bone to get it, and to address soft tissue. I'm not calling Facial Team anything. I'm just saying that maybe if you're of color, go to a surgeon, pick a surgeon who addresses trans women of color for facial feminization. That's what I've learned here. And I also learned that because it's a Medicaid doctor or a doctor that's on that not to think that they're not giving good quality, because James Bradley has no 5-star reviews. Actually, no reviews really. He's not a superstar doctor. I've said that before on one of my other videos. I think for me, he did a really good job. Okay? That's it. So take what you want and leave the rest of this video. And again, I'm not saying anyone was not qualified to handle people of color faces, but I'm just saying from my experience only that if you are of color, think about who you're going to for your facial feminization, and ensure that they address faces and skin and features like yours, and look at pictures, get some before and after, so you have a really good idea. I'm glad that my surgeries, I ended up being healthy and recuperating and waking up from surgery fine, and that I'm really glad that I didn't have to pay so much. I didn't have to pay for this facial feminization. The therapist told me in the beginning, why are you selling your apartment to be a woman? You don't have to. You don't have to give up everything to do it. But if that's your choice, then you do it. Okay? Alright. It feels like I don't want to stop talking to you. That means I really care about you. And I hope you enjoy what I do here as the queen of healthy Latin cooking, Soraya Sobriedad. Alright. Thank you. Bye.
Welcome to my show, honey.
A tea that I like to have, and a little plug for apple cider vinegar. Now, when I was young and starting on my weight loss journey with my mom, she introduced me to this tea. And she was the only one that introduced me to this tea and to the apple cider vinegar benefits. So she heard and she passed it down to me. She's like, honey, drink this tea. It's good for your blood. It's good for, supposed to kind of invigorate the system, get it into weight loss mode, balance out your pH levels, the whole acidity in your body. She said a few words about it, and her and I were both, dealing with obesity, as many members of my family. I'll put down the apple cider vinegar now. And she heard about it, I guess, and or maybe I don't know, maybe her mother told her, but she told me, and I've been using this tea. I always have this vinegar in my refrigerator, in my cupboard, and I have the tea from time to time because it's an interesting flavor and it's really good for you. And what I do is with hot water, I do 1 or 2 tablespoons of the Bragg organic apple cider vinegar and a tablespoon of buckwheat honey. Now, when I was introduced to this tea by my mom, she had it with the buckwheat honey. She suggested, and loving my mom and being a dedicated child to my mom, son, daughter, whatever, I stuck with the buckwheat honey. So I really like the buckwheat honey, and I used that. And a little bit of lemon. So, something to warm you up, something that's going to really balance out your acidic levels, your pH levels, like I said, in your body and all of that. It's going to give you energy. It's going to really help your blood. It's going to really help the quality of your blood.